we're finally starting to get into some of the I argue that the meat really doesn't start until we start getting beyond personal mastery myself, but
Hmm.
mindset's important, like kind of this idea that there's so much that we can control within our own minds.
Hmm.
And principle one and then chapter one is really just kind of like a almost like a testimonial, but uh, we dive into principle one and this concept of personal mastery. And I love how he leads it off with a quote from Jen Rohn:
Hmm.
"For things to change for you, first you must change."
Hmm.
And so really it kind of goes back to what you were just discussing about previously you didn't show up.
Hmm.
And now I see you all the time. You're showing up for
Hmm.
everything. So you have changed your behaviors and
Hmm.
probably your mindset as well, I would argue, which
Yes.
is, usually leads your
Hmm.
behaviors. One of the kind of things that I got out of this is that mastery is not necessarily about talent. It's and
Hmm.
really use we see this theme kind of echoed time and time again that to be a great ninja is not about having this innate raw ability to go and sell.
Hmm.
It's about a standard. It's
Hmm.
about having something that you're going to strive for every day. I
Hmm.
love how mastery was presented about producing results beyond the ordinary
Hmm.
consistently,
Yes.
and that being the standard. That's a high standard,
Hmm.
but it also comes down to it begins rather with a technical excellence, but it doesn't end there.
Hmm.
Uh, one of the big things I also got out of this was that most people don't fail because they're incapable. They
Hmm.
fail because they tolerate mediocrity, kind of the average
Hmm.
environments, the habits, the thing. I don't know if I read it here or elsewhere. Now I can't remember, but it's this idea of terminal normality.
Hmm.
We're always just kind of stuck accepting the average is just something that's always
Hmm.
going to happen. It's inevitable. It comes back to that place. And I know I have been guilty of that myself, even with, certain things. You press on so many areas, and sometimes you have to take your foot off the gas in some places.
Hmm.
And I know myself, I've said, okay, you know what? That's good enough.
Hmm.
Let's just let that be. I've got other things to do. And there is something to be said about that, about, launching an imperfect product. And but, if you don't come back to it and you don't continue to hammer and push and sharpen your skill set, then
Hmm.
you do run the risk of kind of sliding into that terminal normality where you
Yes.
accept average is just something that always happens.
Hmm.
And I think a lot of that is your environment as
Yes.
well. Um,
Absolutely.
maybe an environment that you yourself create
Hmm.
or that you accept by
Hmm.
allowing certain people maybe in your life. Uh, I know and I want to say you and I, correct me if I'm wrong on this, but
Hmm.
you had friends, family, people that care about you genuinely that
Hmm.
were kind of concerned about you coming back into real estate. Am I
Hmm.
am I correct in that? Do I have you mixed up with somebody else?
Well, not that. It was the first 2 years around where I wasn't kind of getting anywhere in real estate. So when I took a step back and was telling them, when I was going to take a step back, find me a job, get settled, they was telling me I failed or I lost battles in real estate,
Mm,
and I'm just like,
hmm.
it's not over.
Okay. Yeah,
Hmm.
super non-supportive.
No. Mm-mm.
So yeah, that in environment
Hmm.
will absolutely impact us. And it goes to our own environment that we create as well. So I know a lot
Hmm.
of people, and Ninja is huge on affirmations,
Hmm.
huge on affirmations, and Kindle even moves, and he has this. interesting idea and belief, and it's not shared
Mhm.
by me, but I can understand it. I get it that there's a lot of energy flowing, and there
Mhm.
are, and I will agree that there's definitely energy that you give off.
Mhm.
I think he takes it almost into like a supernatural realm,
Yeah.
um, with everything, vibrating and maybe there's some truth to that though. I mean,
Mhm.
there's a lot about the physics in the world and quantum mechanics that we don't understand,
Mhm.
and things may be moving that we can't see, or but maybe we can
Right.
feel. But point is, it is about your environment. You
Mhm.
can engage in positive affirmations. I know a lot of people around the first of the year love to do a vision board.
Mhm.
I don't know. Are you into that at all?
Yeah. I have started mine. Um, here's my visions. I don't know if you can see,
You just have one
but
dollar on it.
yeah, it's $1, but it has some zeros, so it's 100,000.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool. Okay, I
So
like it.
I'm still kind of filling it all in. Um, but yeah.
What else do you want to put on there?
Um, real estate. Um, more of like me about me too as well.
Hmm.
Like healthy, eating healthy, weight loss. Um,
So this is holistic.
yeah.
Yeah,
So it's
nice.
basically about me and real estate where I want to see myself at the end of 2026.
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
The exit business plan has a very holistic approach like that,
Mm-hmm.
where it kind of goes into the wheels of life, and
Mm-hmm.
they talk about business, they talk about spiritual, they talk about mental health, they talk about
Yes.
your physical health, all these different areas.
Mm-hmm.
And that was for me reinforced pretty heavily whenever I first came into the brokerage and I would get a phone call from Eric. He tries to do a weekly phone call to at least one or two agents on every Friday. And
Nice.
he would call me and say, "Hey, Jeremy, how are things?" And then I would go, "Oh, pretty good. I had this contract and this and that, and I got an inspection on Monday, or blah, blah, blah." And he would say, "Well,
Mm-hmm.
okay, but how are you?"
Mm-hmm.
And he was just asking how I was doing as a person, as a human being, as
Mm-hmm.
an individual. And that was beautiful to me. And that really kind of
Yeah.
reinforced that idea that, if you don't have other areas of your life straightened out, there's no way you're going to be able to perform in a business role. And so
Exactly.
that environment is hyper important. Uh, there's been there's been people that I can't have conversations with anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that I don't want to, it's not that I don't miss them,
Yeah.
aspects of them,
Mm-hmm.
but there's people that I
Mm-hmm.
just can't engage with anymore. And
Yep.
not that they're bad people, but they're just stuck in that terminal normality.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I have had to change the table that I sit at.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I would say look around at your life. If you're not
Mm-hmm.
experiencing the mastery that you want to achieve and that Kindle
Mm-hmm.
talks about, look at the conversations you're having. Are you talking about
Yep.
people or are you talking about ideas?
Mm-hmm.
Look at the media that you're
Exactly.
consuming. What are
Mm-hmm.
the expectations of the people around you? And I think Kindle even talked about this, about surrounding yourself with people that expect more of you than you expect of
Mm.
yourself.
Exactly.
I tell agents that I mentor all the time, I'm going to stretch you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to stretch you. And I say all the time, get comfortable being uncomfortable. Wherever you feel like you're just a little,
Yes.
you feel uneasy
Mm-hmm.
in that space, that's exactly where you need to be.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Um,
Because people actually see more potential in you than you see in yourself, to be honest.
hmm
Mm-hmm.
hmm Yeah. Yeah. If you ever, I tell people that are struggling to write their bio about
Mm-hmm.
themselves, I say, let somebody else write it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
and then if you have somebody else write your bio, you're like, oh man, I'm cool. I'm good. Like,
Right.
I'm a great person.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't, we always, and part of this is our society. We're taught to be humble and have
Mm-hmm.
humility. But in doing so, I think we possibly kind of put a limiter on
Mm-hmm.
ourselves. There's a famous example, and I don't know if this is true or not. I've heard it time and time again, so I don't know, fact check this.
Mhm.
that if you have like a flea circus, if you have a box of fleas and you have
Mhm.
the lid on them, and these things can jump
Mhm.
so high. And the idea here is that if you place a box, uh, put these fleas in a box with a lid on it, then in time they will only jump as high as the box is high
Allows.
with the
Yeah.
lid, right? So the idea here is that you in time you can, again, this is so I've read. I don't
Mhm.
I've never collected fleas, so I don't know for sure. Uh, in time, the idea is that you can remove the lid, and although they have the capability to jump higher than the box
Mhm.
and escape, they have been conditioned in this certain state to only go to a certain level, and they will
Mhm.
only jump as high as the lid previously was. Although the
Mhm.
lid has been removed, they continue those
Patterns.
same
Wow.
behavior patterns. Mhm.
Yeah.
So don't limit yourself,
Mhm.
it's the idea that, this environment is either going to push you towards achieving mastery,
Mhm.
or it's going to just get you stuck right there in this idea of average, of mediocre.
Mhm.
Um, that I think that's where we need to kind of ask ourselves, what is it that's keeping you average? What's in your life, or what is in your environment
Mhm.
that's kind of keeping you in that place? And sometimes it's something small that you don't recognize, that it's,
Yeah.
time spent on TikTok or whatever it may
Mhm.
be, instead of being intentional, instead of
Mhm.
saying, okay, I'm going to do this, or I'm not going to do that.
Right.
No, so
Mhm.
I think a lot of times and I keep going back to kind of the first of the year, I talk about the
Mhm.
vision board, but and kind of keeping with this idea of what people change and do.
Mhm.
uh, a lot of times people want to add something. They want to say, "Oh, I'm going to start doing this, or I'm going to start doing that." A couple of years ago, I had a New Year's resolution. I was like, "I'm going to floss more. I'm going to do that,"
Mhm. Mhm.
And a lot of times people say, "I'm going to start going to the gym more," or whatever.
Mhm.
I would maybe challenge people to question not what do you need to add, but what do you need to remove.
Exactly. Yes.
I think those are important things to
Mhm.
maybe look at whenever we are looking at this idea, this hidden enemy of terminal normality.
Right.
So, okay. So, kind of the core idea here is
Mhm.
that the first step to mastery isn't about learning more, it's removing what limits you. And I was just kind of
Exactly.
talking about that, people beliefs, internal causes. Uh,
Mhm.
a lot of times agents especially are looking for new tactics or new tools, or I
Mhm.
and I myself was and still am, like, largely kind of guilty of this. I have shiny object syndrome.
Me too, though.
Something new, something cool comes along, some
Mhm.
little gadget, some little
Mhm.
toy, some whatever, and I'm just like, ooh, give me, give me, give me. I want to play with it.
Mhm.
And a lot of times agents are looking for that, thinking that that's going to fix it, and they want a
Mhm.
new tactic or a new tool. And what I argue that they really need are fewer excuses.
Yeah. Exactly. I fell victim to that. Yes. My first
It
2 years around.
it can happen, right?
Mhm.
And not saying that this wasn't a contributor, and I'm not going to say that you were
Mhm.
making excuses, but
Mhm.
there, uh, you have talked yourself about how you had some real challenges.
Mhm.
And they are challenges, but at what point, and I'm going to challenge you. I don't want to
Mhm.
demean you. I'm not trying to attack you, but I'm
Yeah.
going to ask you to ask yourself, at what point do challenges become excuses? You know,
Yeah.
I'm just
Basically.
saying it aloud. Like,
Yeah.
just something to think about. And
Mhm.
and again, I hope you don't feel attacked, but
No, no,
this
no.
is me
Mm-mm.
challenging. This is me stretching.
Because I was in that victim mindset, I
Mm,
was I was in the victim mindset, asking why does these things happening to me instead of, saying, how can I get out of this situation? I'm asking why instead of how. So
hmm
yeah, I had to become a player. In my chapter one, it talks about, becoming a player and getting out of that victim mindset.
What was
You know,
the woman's name? Mary or Maria or something like that? I'm looking at my copy that I
mm,
have over here. Oh, Maria. Yeah, right.
mhm.
Exactly. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and Maria was definitely stuck there, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. So when you get out of that mindset, that's why, when you change yourself, you basically change it for the better. The universe will align with you. Everything will come align. And like I do preach that, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear.
Hmm.
Like I do believe in that. I'm a living testimony of that. So yeah, and I was praised by another real estate agent last night where she was like, instead of you blaming, other things or other people, you took accountability, and that says a lot. And
Hmm.
that's the first step into changing, the first step into, you know, getting what you want.
Hmm. Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. I had and I hadn't found or read Ninja Selling at this time in my life, but it was around
Mm-hmm.
like my mid 20s
Mm.
that I kind of so here's I didn't say victim, I said
Mm-hmm.
hater. And so I
Mm.
kind of had this moment myself where I said, and I remember like this was like for years, this was kind of my mantra. I said,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna stop hating and start playing.
Hmm.
And so the same idea there, right? Yeah, right. Give me the love, give me the love. Uh, and that was my mantra for years. I'm going to stop hating and start playing. And
Yeah.
the idea was, I was kind of resentful of those that had figured out how to play the game, and I was angry, and I
Mm-hmm.
felt like the game was rigged, and I felt like they were,
Mm-hmm.
and the cards you were, stacked against me, the table
Mm-hmm.
slanted, whatever you want to use here. And I just kind of had to, recognize that's where I was, which
Yeah.
really is another point that Kendall brings up. He says,
Mm-hmm.
don't resent masters,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yep.
because that's a pathway to bitterness,
Mm-hmm.
and that's going to block your growth.
Exactly.
Is the bottom line.
You're
If
already limiting yourself.
Uh-huh. I
Mm.
love working with other masters, and
Mhm.
not to say that I am one. I feel like I have mastery over certain things,
Mhm.
but I'm still a work in progress for sure. But the idea here is that working with a master should
Mhm.
inspire you.
Exactly.
It shouldn't threaten you. You shouldn't
Mhm.
because it goes back to this idea of a mindset of abundance versus scarcity. That
Mhm.
master isn't going to take anything from you. If you are
Mhm.
open and willing to receive it, they're probably going to give something to you. Maybe not even
Mhm.
knowingly. They just by virtue
Yep.
of being a master, they're going to give
Mhm.
off so much value and just radiate
Mhm.
just energy outward. Sorry, we don't
Yeah.
talk about energy, uh, but
Mhm.
but it's a thing. It's
Mhm.
absolutely a real thing. I would say if somebody else is, if you are looking at what somebody else is doing in it, you find it irritating.
That's a
That's
hater.
that's a signal though. That's a signal.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
I think we're all guilty of this. If I'm honest, like
Mhm.
I've done that too, where I'm like, man, whatever,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
we get all we get all edgy about it. And uh, that's really a signal, that
Mhm.
you need to, I think, examine yourself, look up, look inward and ask yourself, why are you
Mhm.
angry? Why are you upset? Why are you resentful? And
Mhm.
check yourself, and maybe there's an opportunity to learn there. Uh, I have
Exactly.
I have people that, although I may question their ethics,
Mhm.
they're still masters. And so, even if I were, given the opportunity to sit in a room with somebody that I may have some moral or ethical quandaries about, I would
Mhm.
still recognize that there's an opportunity to learn a lot from
Mhm.
somebody that now, cherry pick it and be careful what
Mhm.
you're receiving. Again, it's a bad
Yeah.
environment,
Yep.
but um,
It's crazy because I felt to me it wasn't like really more
uh-oh,
resentful or like,
you hear
hating to
that?
anybody. It was jealousy for me. When I first
Oh,
got
oh, wow,
into,
that's
yeah.
very honest.
Mm-hmm. So when I first got into real estate, I was looking at everybody else around me and what they were doing and things like that. So when I would see them post on Facebook and see how they're closing and all of that, I was just like I was jealous. Like that's supposed to be me. Like what am I doing wrong?
Hmm.
Asking why instead of, how do I get to that level? How do I do what they're doing? How can I become, that real estate agent that they are? But at the same time, I'm not supposed to really be asking that questions. It's how can I change me? How can I become the real estate agent that I want to be and not what everybody else is doing? And, I had to change that. I was following this girl on Facebook and I was just so jealous and I was following her. And, I met her, coming back into real estate after 2 years, I actually met her and now she's, more of an inspiration than anything.
Mhm.
And the jealousy is not even there anymore
I think
because it's like,
how is a great question to ask
hmm
instead of why. Why
instead
isn't
of
this
why.
me? How can I get there?
Hmm.
I love that you reframed that.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Thank you.
Well, and so I think that maybe part of what was creating that for you, what they say
Hmm.
that comparison is the thief of joy, right?
Yes. Oh,
And
yes.
and maybe that was, and I've done that. I've compared myself to
Hmm.
other real estate brokers and said I want this and I want to do that. And
Hmm.
there's a difference between comparing yourself and being inspired by.
Hmm. Exactly.
And when we do that, when we compare ourselves, it triggers
Hmm.
things inside of us. It triggers feelings. We feel inept. We feel ineffective.
Hmm.
We feel like there's something wrong with us. That
Hmm.
we can't get it or whatever it may be. But this goes right back to the one of the very first ideas of ninja selling is that
Hmm.
it's not about this innate talent that you
Hmm.
have. It's about your attitude, it's about your mindset,
Hmm.
and it's about, working to increase your technical skill set.
Yep. It's me
So
versus me, to be honest.
that part, right? Yeah, no,
Hmm.
no, seriously. And that's a wonderful way. And a lot of times I look at it because people will
Hmm.
will examine, and I'm not to say that I'm so great, but people will examine my life
Hmm.
and look at my life and they'll say, "Oh, you've done this, you've done that." Yeah, I'm like, "Yeah, but I have a standard that I have set."
Hmm.
Not that, you or and thank you. I appreciate the love, thanks for the
Hmm.
flowers, but
Yeah.
I have a certain standard that I'm trying to move towards and I'm
Hmm.
far from it.
Yep.
So okay, so Kindle talks about there basically being three keys to
Mm.
mastery. One is the mindset, right?
Hmm.
What's going on in your brain? How are you running your brain? You're asking the question how instead of why. Boom.
Hmm.
You're there, I think. No, seriously. I think you're there. Uh, the other second one was skill set, that technical excellence. You're
Hmm.
building that.
Yes.
You're building that and meeting to go over broker scenarios. You're
Hmm.
insatiable in your quest for knowledge and
Hmm.
learning. So you're building that. And then the third part is action, and that's the
Hmm.
consistent execution. So
Yep.
we get our head together, we get your brain right, then you start
Hmm.
learning the things, and then you start doing the things.
Hmm. Exactly.
Yeah, you can have all the skill sets in the world, but if you have a shitty attitude, then
Hmm.
good luck, you know.
So you can
Uh,
be beautiful on the outside, but if your inside is ugly, it just the whole
yeah,
aura, everything is ugly.
I don't want nothing to do with you. There
Hmm.
was not long ago somebody brought an agent to my attention and said, "Hey, I think this person would be great with Exit." And
Hmm.
I said, "I know who you're talking about. Um, they do a lot of business and good business."
Hmm.
I said, "I don't think I ever want to work with them
Hmm.
because I have this person on record as saying that they're just looking out for themselves."
Yep.
And I'm
Hmm.
like, I don't want that. I don't want that person
That's not
around
real
me.
estate business.
I don't want them around me. So you can have all the skills in the world, but
Hmm.
you can have a mindset that's going to make it so that people don't want to be around you, don't want to work with
Hmm.
you, and um,
Yep.
yeah, you isolate yourself
Hmm.
that way. So uh, just looking
I
over my
think I need
notes
to
here.
get one of them hard copy books because my chapter one is super short.
It is short.
Yeah.
I've got a hard copy. I'm
Okay.
holding it up as if it's going to show up on the screen here.
Yeah,
I've got a
I
hard
have that
copy. I've
same
got.
one.
Is this the one I gave you, or did you buy this one? I can't
I
remember.
bought it off of Audible.
Oh, that's right. I didn't give it.
Hmm.
Okay, I've got an audio book as well, and then I
Hmm.
also put it on my Nook. I got an ebook copy, so I've got about 8 different versions of this damn book, but
Okay.
uh,
I think I need, because the audio version, what you're saying, I didn't read that part. And
which one are you talking about?
the Ninja Selling, the audio version.
Oh, but what are you saying that
hmm
you didn't hear or read?
So the first of all, the quote at the beginning when he talked about Maria.
Oh,
Um,
well, so I'm looking at chapter one. He says, at any given point in time, a human may choose to be a player or a victim that a psychologist once told him. What what he's talking about, it was at the
mhm.
beginning of principle one, which it's weird because it's like principle one
Mm,
and then chapter one. There's different chapters that fall underneath the principles. So,
gotcha.
so yeah, Jim Rohn, for things
hmm
to change for you, first you must change.
So yeah,
That
I did. Okay, so I do got that. It's
okay.
just not written down on because I started with chapter one when I actually, started writing down. I
Oh,
started with
okay.
chapter one. Okay, so yes, I remember that. It
Yeah,
refreshed me.
it's kind of like they
Yes,
have like the principles and then like chapters
exactly. Yeah.
are underneath that principle kind of that's
hmm
supported. But
Yeah.
okay, so I've got notes here. I mean, we've kind of dug into the player versus victim
hmm
mindset for sure. Um, oh, okay, here's one of the cool things that I wanted to talk about, how Maria called Larry and basically was like, "This all changed my life."
hmm
Now, Maria turned into a baller. She went from living in her mom's basement to
Yes.
doing, what, 9 closings a month or something like that.
hmm
So good for her. But one of the coolest things that, remember, she said, do you remember what it was that she said was like the biggest takeaway, the biggest thing that really changed her
The morning
life?
routine.
The morning routine. Yeah.
hmm
And it's not about productivity. It's about just
hmm
like a control. It's about, kind of
hmm
resetting yourself.
Yeah.
You don't wait for the day to decide to tell
hmm
you how you're gonna feel.
Yep.
So that's I love it. That's a and the on the mornings that I am consistent with, like, okay, let me go and let me just sit still
hmm
and let me do this. My tolerance for stress and uncertainty and
hmm
rejection even is so much higher. It just kind of
hmm
rolls off of me. Uh, the uncertainty is a thing that I'm pretty good with stress. I'm pretty good with
hmm
rejection. I don't mind being told no, but I guess I'm just talking for myself right now.
hmm
What really, really, really kills me is having my schedule messed up, having my day messed up, having things,
hmm
like I get really worked up, man. I
Yeah.
get really worked up. And on the days that I do actually, ground myself
hmm
at the beginning, my tolerance for that is so much better. And I think the point here is that your mindset is programmable.
hmm
And sometimes we need to unlearn
Yep.
things that have been taught and that we've
hmm
started doing. But that goes to this idea of doing the affirmations, that it's not wishful
hmm
thinking, that is intentional programming, that's rewiring
Yeah.
your brain to so that you enforce or reinforce certain
hmm
things. And it goes back again, kind of full circle to the conversation about environment. There's certain things that
hmm
are happening that um, eh, what we do is reinforce sometimes negativity
hmm
as
Yep.
well. So those are the
And
big takeaways, I'd say. What were you saying?
and really how you start your morning does determine your day. It
Hmm.
really does. hmm
Yeah. So, well, cool. I think that's already gone through like everything on my notes here, and I'm looking at the chapter. I mean, it's a very short. That's kind of what I
hmm
like about this. Like, it's really small, bite size,
Yeah.
but you can
Chew and swallow.
kind of break it down
Yeah.
and really deconstruct it quite well.
Yeah.
So, hmm. Okay. Well, what questions do you have?
No questions.
Okay. Well, cool. I will let you get on with your day then, and we will do chapter
Chapter
two.
2 next
Next week.
Wednesday.
Again, so small, but this is good. We'll just
Mhm.
do bite size and just keep doing it like this. So,
I love it.
all right, girl. Well, you take
Thank you,
care.
Jeremy.